right, we will call to order the FARGODOME Authority meeting for Tuesday, June 25th. And before you is the agenda. There's one item to be added. Rob has brought to our attention, and that is the NDSU operating lease agreement. So if you would make a note of that under additional items, it'd be greatly appreciated. With that, is there any other additions to the agenda?
Motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Got a first from Dan.
Second.
Second from Mike. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Thank you. All right, we will move on to item number 1, and that is the minutes from May 25th from the FDA meeting. Just take a thumb through those.
I'll move to approve.
So I got a first from Dan, or excuse me, from Rick, and a second
Rick
from,
did
and a second from Blake. All those in favor of accepting the minutes for May 28th, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Thank you. Carrying on, is there any old business before the FDA? Hearing none, we'll go to new business. 3A General Manager Report. Rob, table's yours.
All right, thanks, Dave. As always, we'll start with the financials, page 4 of your packet. The year-to-date, so through the end of May, the month of May is on the left-hand side, and year-to-date is on the right-hand side. Starting with the month of May, we had 2 events with attendance of 22,600 compared to a budget of 40,500 with 6 events. Essentially, the marathon is the difference. Total event income of just about 278,000 compared to a budget of 340,500. Indirect expenses of 368,200. It looks like Zach pulled a Susan and compared to a budget of 368,360. So that's either really good budgeting or really good manipulation. I'm not really sure, but you can all make your own judgments on that. I'm being off by $76. The event itself. Cody Johnson was a good concert, good attendance, strong per caps. So it shows a negative 53,000, but that's against 2 budgeted concerts for the one. So that is pretty good. NDSU commencement just consistent with budget, and then the 14,000 or 15,000 below budget on the convention miscellaneous is with the Fargo Marathon. Dates not working out, them being held outside. So you can see it without the marathon it affects FARGODOME a little bit, but it really is more so on the attendance side number versus the actual bottom line impact. And then on the meeting rooms, we're actually a very busy month, just about $4,700 above budget on that. On the expense side, labor continue to be slightly below budget on a monthly basis with the reduction of the one less full-time staff member. Operations, September, we don't know, but May was a little warmer than normal, so with the events we had, and with getting 14,000 or so bodies in here when it was kind of warm with Cody Johnson, had a lot of steam running to cool the place. So a little above budget there. Everything else is pretty much in line. Any questions on the month of May? Which I guess I didn't say the last number, which we did have a net surplus of 70,000, but that was about 60,000 below the budgeted 130,000. Year to date, then we've had 52 events with 191,500 in attendance compared to a budget of 52 events. Again, you can make whatever reference you want compared to attendance of 186.5. So we're pretty right on track with a lot of that. Total event income of just over 1.637 compared slightly above the 1.614 budget. Expenses of $2,075,000, so just about 60,000 below budget of the 2.134. So we have a net surplus for the first 5 of 403,500 compared to a budget of 273.5. As we've talked, don't get comfortable with that number.
It's only getting better. It's only getting better. Oh yeah.
Questions on anything of financials? We continue to look at stuff. We know what our schedule is going to be for the rest of the year. Pretty much talking to the promoters, talking to everything. We kind of know where we're going to. I shouldn't say we don't know where we're going to be at dollar wise, but we know where we're going to be at event wise, which gives me a fairly good idea where we're going to be at dollar wise.
Are you pretty much in line then with the budget events for the remaining of the year, Rob? No.
Well, there are certain events we don't budget, so if those happen, I'll let you know.
Okay.
I will point out and remind you that there was a $585,000 surplus for 2023.
It's passed.
So we'll have to start doing averages.
Okay.
There's a solution in the banker.
But no, I mean, we are taking measures to look at different things of what we can conserve. The touring concert large show, it's not. I actually was talking with Live Nation again today. Starting to look at 2026. I'm like, yeah, well, how about next month? But so it's pretty quiet this year with a lot of most buildings. It's weird. There is talk. There's articles. I think my opinion, others' opinions are that whole post-pandemic excitement bubble. Somebody took their really big finger and popped it, and so yes, you have your Uber stars that are still getting whatever they want and huge things, and you've got stadium shows, but a lot of the attendance is still good. It's just not as good as it was before. And you've got a lot of stadium shows with particularly country. And so instead of 2 or 3 artists on an arena show, you've got 6 or 7 being sucked up into that stadium show for the 6-hour performance because you're paying multiple hundreds of dollars for those tickets. So it's just, watching and seeing, and I think you can look around the region and see who's headlining certain festivals. And, knowing what we all know for past attendance at FARGODOME events or different places they've played, it's a little. The headliners are a little, or some of them are taking a break or not doing as much. But we've always said it's always a very cyclical business on that side of things. We've had a good year with a lot of the shows we've had. Been very busy. Disney on Ice, Monster Jam again, great. Rodeo was great. Circus was pretty good. We have a great home NDSU football schedule again, so we just have to capitalize on the opportunities that we're going to have and just watch the expenses.
What is the bookings for like the Red River Valley Fair or the State Fair? I mean, do they do their own or do
No, they go through different agencies or buyers.
Okay. And those brokers probably have access to some of the big names.
They don't have access. They don't have any more access than we do.
Okay.
It's just how it works. Or Motley Crue is at the State Fair. Well, the Motley Crue was here last year. It's not like they're going to come back. Def Leppard was here with Motley Crue. Def Leppard's now out, I think, with Journey again. But again, Def Leppard was just here. So I mean, it's a lot of that. So it's and artists. They like festivals. They like outside because they can charge more. There's more people.
So that's lucrative for them.
It can be depending upon where you're at and what's going on. However, if you talk to a lot of agents or management, they like indoor because it's climate controlled. So it's just again, if we tried to figure it out and get to science. Less hair than me, because we'd lose it, we'd pull it out. There's a reason, my opinion, there's a reason why Live Nation is as big as it is, because you have to be. And you kill them on volume, you own your own amphitheater, so the summer season, a lot of their stuff, any arena shows are based off of coming of what's going to the amphitheaters because they own those venues. So they're able to capitalize on all the ancillary revenues. That's why they build them. It's why cities build buildings to bring people there. So it's just, So.
Thanks, Rob. All good questions. Finance? Are you up for that, or do you want to make the finance?
No, that's fine.
No, this is where
So,
No,
you make the motion.
motion for the finance.
so I had a question on this, just going
Yeah.
forward.
Certainly.
Since we have the review of the finance meeting here, and I know we've historically just taken a motion to approve it at this point. And wouldn't it make sense for us to say, we've had the financial report presented, blah, 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 and just approve it all with the finance?
I thought that too, but don't we have to, the FDA has to approve the financials?
Yeah, no, but we would approve it here.
You
Approving
do, but you're essentially approving it.
As part of the.
If you approve it as part of the overall building finance committee report, the FDA is still approving the financials. It has been a personal or individual preference as treasurers or presidents or vice presidents or chairs.
We are open for suggestions.
Move to say whatever, and I just sit back and go, as long as sometime through the event, sometime through the meeting before it's adjourned, that there's some sort of motion that can be said that it is approving the financials, I don't really care.
We shall
do it
follow.
that way,
We
then.
shall follow your
Okay.
lead.
Thank you.
The history before that was Dale Bellion is the one who always wanted it approved right after the manager's report. So, anyways,
Rest his soul,
Yes.
Dale wanted a lot of things.
yes, he always wanted a good lunch.
He also wanted a very expensive lunch.
Yeah, I liked him for that. I liked him for that.
All right, we'll do it that way then.
All right.
All right, moving on, past and upcoming events, page 14 since our last meeting, which was May 28th, we'll go with. We had high school graduations moved in then that Thursday, the 30th of May, with their 3 ceremonies on Sunday, the 2nd, noon, 3, and 6, as we started setting up Happy Harry's Rib Fest in the parking lot to be that day. We'd also, if you remember, the Fargo Marathon was on Saturday, the 1st of June, kind of starting and finishing on the north end of NDSU's campus on 17th Avenue, so our parking lots were used as parking for all of that. Happy Harry's Rib Fest then was the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th of June, average year. Thank you to all of our team members and colleagues here, plus Tents and Events, for spending 10 hours a day, particularly Wednesday and Thursday, just walking around and hammering in tent stakes and tightening belts and stuff. As it was, I think we'd rather have rain than wind, but when it's rain, nobody shows up, so there's no revenue. But when it's wind, people show up. But now we're trying to keep, tent stakes from flying around. So, but it was a challenge, and so we, I think if for particularly Wednesday and Thursday, Friday was good. Saturday was a little bit of a typical Saturday. I will say that NDSU did a promotion, NDSU Athletics, to kind of bring back a form of the Riblet Fest, and that was well received. And so that helped for Saturday afternoon. It's carried through the evening, but if we would have had somewhat normal weather, our attendance would have been right on average.
So I'm curious, when you had all that wind, normally those stands are pretty high.
Yes.
Any of those go down in that wind? I'm just curious.
Bernie made them take all their signs down.
They did? Okay.
So most of the signs came down. Now there were areas that were a little bent or a little cracked, but they all came down. And then Friday morning, they put a lot of it back up since it wasn't going to be. There's only one vendor who kept all of his signs up, and he's been doing it for a long time. And I would close my eyes when I'd walk past it, but he got away with it. So.
All right. Curious. Thank you.
Then the last 2 weekends, NDSU football has been having their football camps using the FARGODOME Gate City Field as one of their 5 fields for that camp, which brings us to today. Moving forward then, USA Wrestling will start moving in right around July 9th and 10th. The actual wrestling event will start on Saturday the 13th and run through the evening of Saturday the 20th. They'll move out. Arena will be quiet for a little bit, but we will be again hosting the United Way School Supply Drive in the East Lobby that next week from the 24th to the 31st, which takes us to our next meeting. Any questions, comments, past, current, future events from board members?
Yeah, it is.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
Hearing nothing, that would conclude my report.
Well, thank you, Rob. Carrying on, 3B,
Yes.
finance and building.
Finance report and building report. You've heard Rob present the financial statements. I have nothing to add to that. As far as projects, AstroTurf continues to work on the turf issues, getting that straightened away. There was replacement of a lighting control system in the main arena. That was completed, and there's also, that's on the projects, and Rob did also request a reallocation of some funds, and I'll have Rob talk to that.
Correct. So we have 3 leaking gaskets on the glycol loops around the building in 3 different areas. So one of the requests was reallocating $7,000 to FD 2203 to repair that. And then the other one was the 10-inch pipe in the southeast storage area, the rain leader, that basically all the rain that's on the roof then drains down, drops 127 feet, and then gets into the storm sewer. That needed to be replaced, portions of that, so that created FD 2423 with reallocation of $4,435. Those both came out of the budgeted unallocated account, which was at $25,000. However, we did also receive from Johnson Controls our refund. The project's been closed out, so there's a $13,798 check that we received back from that project, put into the account. So after those 2 reallocations, which are negative, adding in that 13, the budgeted and unallocated actually increased about $2,400 to $27,400.
All right, and that was acted upon and both requests were approved. At that point. Anything else from you, Rob, at this point?
Just a little further update on the football turf. They're out there now.
Okay, go ahead.
They are not the mechanical side is they put the air diffusers in, and they've been testing cycling the turf all day today, and they'll do it a little bit more tomorrow, trying to get a couple things ironed out and come to some more conclusions, have more conversations.
All right, thank you. And last item, the escrow balance was reviewed, and basically no action taken on that, but reviewed. You all have that in front of you as well. So I have nothing more, Mr. Chair, and I'll move to approve the finance report.
Thank you. With that, roll call?
Nancy?
Yes.
Blake?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Rick?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. I appreciate that, Rick. Number 4 is discussion on FARGODOME remodel. Anything to add, Rob?
Not at this time. I think there'll be some information upcoming. I believe a meeting is soon to be scheduled. My understanding is the surveys have been completed, and the results are being put together, and we should hear some more on that shortly.
Perfect. And then we'll go to number 5, and that's additional items, and that is the NDSU operating lease agreement.
I did not distribute this because there are no changes other than 23 to 24, 24 to 25. We just decided, Matt Larson and I did have a conversation about possibly going, he had asked about maybe going multiple years now, but I said, well, still a lot up in the air, maybe 2. He said, let's just keep it at 1. So the plan is to just,
Basic renewal.
well, still at the 165 and July 1st of 24 to June 30 of 25. And hopefully by then we can look at something different.
Need a motion on that, Dave?
Yes.
Move to approve the NDSU lease agreement.
Second.
We got a first from Rick and a second from Nancy. Roll call?
Nancy?
Yes.
Blake?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Rick?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
All right, is there anything else for the FDA? Hearing none, we're adjourned.